When it comes to body weight, upper body strength development, gymnastic strength, and hand balancing techniques, I think there is one upper body strength drill that rules them all. The tuck planche. First things first, is it planche or is it planche? I don't know. I think it's one of those tomato things. I use planche to sound a bit more regal, a bit more fancy, so I'm gonna run with planche. Before we get into the mechanics and exactly how to do the tuck planche, let me first explain to you why I love it so much. I love the tuck planche because it gives you the strength components to not only do a full straddle planche and eventually a full planche, but also the press to handstand and the stalder press. All of these presses require the same amount of straight arm strength and the ability to spread and contract the scapula. This kind of straight arm scapular strength also has great carryover if you want to jump into a yoga class or defend yourself in a jiu-jitsu class. So there's a lot of cross applications. The wrists. We need strong and flexible wrists to successfully do the planche. Hand positioning, I like to go around shoulder width or slightly wider, turn the fingers out slightly, a bit less than 45 degrees, plant the hands, and now this is a nice warm-up drill to do. We want to spread the scaps, the shoulder blades apart, round up through the spine in this kneeling position, and then we can lean forward as far as our wrist can tolerate and shift back. And just lean into that position and you'll feel a tremendous pressure through the wrists. You might need to reset and make sure you're really forcing those scaps apart and lean forward. From the side, it looks a bit like this. I round up through my scaps, leaning forward. Hands are around shoulder width apart, which for me, I don't have enormous shoulders, so not that far apart, but for you it might be wider and good for you. After I do 5 to 10 of those planche leans just to warm up the angle on the wrist, I like to roll the wrists out. I like to do this for 20 to 30 seconds in between sets. So I might do in my warm-up 2 or 3 sets of those planche leans just to really warm the wrists up. And after that, what I like to do is turn the hands over just to develop a little bit of tolerance and flexibility on the other side. I can create some circles here, just shifting the weight through the different bones of the wrist. And this might be a little uncomfortable if you're new to this, which is okay. But the goal here is just to add some load into the wrists so that they get stronger. Right, so after warming up the wrists, working the backs of the wrists for 2 to 3 sets, as well as our planche leans on the knees, it's time to look at the planche lean up on the feet. So if we take our plank push-up position, I turn the fingers out slightly. I'm going to protract through the scapula, and I'm going to walk my feet forward as far as I can, trying to keep the hips in line with the shoulders, and I can just start to hang here. Now that's quite an extreme angle. You'll feel that up through the bicep and through the scaps as they try to maintain that position. So we can hang there for 10 to 15, build it up to 20 seconds just to start to build the tolerance through the bicep, the front deltoid, the wrist, and the scaps. For some people, the pressure on the wrists during the planche might be a bit extreme when you're starting out. So a set of parallettes, something like these, can work great because it takes pressure off the wrist. So setting them up in our slightly wider than shoulder width position, we can also do our leans from here. So I'm going to protract up through the scaps and I'm going to lean myself forward, and I can start to create my planche lean from there. Again, you want to be hanging out for 10 seconds, 15 seconds just to build up that tolerance. When it comes to advancing ourselves into the tuck, again, parallettes will be the easiest option, especially down low at this height, because what you can do is you can elevate the hips to around shoulder height and pull one leg up and then start to pull the other leg up like so. Now, if this is too far out of reach, then I have a solution for you. You're in ideas, man, Aaron. That's what Dad always used to say to me. Grab yourself a stretchy band and you wanna put it over where you're gonna do your tuck planche. You're gonna put said stretchy band around your waist, and now from there, we can 1 foot up, 2 foot up, spread those scaps and hold for the allotted time. Again, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, build up some tolerance in that position. I've got a heap of bands. I started out on a big thick one like this until I felt like I was just bouncing around and not really getting enough work. So I started reducing them bit by bit until I got down to this sort of micro band type thing. And when you feel like you barely need that, you know you're ready to go without any band. Taking the parallettes away does require a lot more from the wrists. So same concepts apply to the setup. Hands a little more than shoulder width apart, fingers facing out a little, not quite 45 degrees. And the key here is to help yourself up into position, spread and protract through the scaps. And we can get our hold. Now it's a lot more demanding than on the parallettes because of the pressure through the wrists. We've had a look at the static tuck planche. Now let's look at the dynamic. I just want to remind you all as well that I learned all this stuff as I approached 40. I'm almost 43 now and I'm able to do this, and it's because I practice this stuff a couple of times a week over the last few years. So a dynamic entry to our tuck planche is another way to enter it or approach it, and you'll need some higher P-bars for this. You might have seen something in the Olympics, the gymnasts have something a bit higher. But I find from this height, what's really cool is you can go from this modified L-sit position and swing up and hold. Now, even if you can't get your hold yet, you might be able to swing up and at least touch that position and come back with control, like so. But what we're aiming to do is build up until you can hold it, like that. When it comes to our static planche, after the tuck, we can start to work up towards our straddle, which looks like this. Whoosh, which is even more demanding again. That's the subject of another video. Another extremely potent tool in our upper body strength development is the planche push-up. So the same setup as for our planche lean. We lean ourselves forward and then we push up. Now these are a lot more demanding than a regular push-up. Aiming for sets of 5 of these is generally enough to really cook yourself. 3 to 5 sets of these. Tuck planche push-ups are also available on higher P-bars, which are quite nice because you can get that depth. Like so. When it comes to an outline of a planche workout, I will leave a full description of a workout down below for you with sets and reps. If you'd like to take a deeper dive, then my community are currently working on their tuck planche. In my app, Move with Aaron, there's a 7-day free trial to check it out, get involved. I'll leave that down below as well. That's it for this video. Like, subscribe, share, comment, ask me questions, and I'll see you in the next video.